Let's be honest, folks, times are tough, really tough. We're all feeling the pinch at the checkout counter. Every trip to the store feels like a new adventure in sticker shock. But how did we end up in this cost of living crisis? It's not just one thing, it's a combination of factors. Well, it's a perfect storm of global events and economic policies, a mix of unfortunate circumstances and decisions. Think of it like a bad reality show with a bunch of villains, soaring energy prices due to conflicts, supply chain disruptions from the pandemic, and inflation running rampant, each one playing its part in this drama. Remember those empty shelves at the supermarket during lockdown? It was like a scene from a dystopian movie. Yeah, that messed things up. People started hoarding and the supply chain just couldn't keep up. Suddenly, everyone wants toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and the price goes through the roof. Essentials became luxuries overnight. And it's not just toilet paper, it's everything. From milk to meat, prices have skyrocketed. From gas to groceries, our hard-earned cash just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. Every dollar feels like it's being stretched to its limit. And you know what makes it worse? Wages haven't kept up with these skyrocketing prices. It's a double whammy. It's like trying to outrun a cheetah on a treadmill. No matter how fast you go, you just can't keep up. You're working your butt off, but you're not getting anywhere. It's exhausting and frustrating. So here we are, stuck in this cost of living crisis. It's a shared struggle that affects us all. But hey, at least we can all bond over the shared experience of wondering if we can afford avocado toast anymore. It's a small comfort in these challenging times. Remember those would-you-rather games we played as kids? They were fun, right? Simple choices, no real consequences. Yeah, well, the cost of living crisis has brought those games to life, and trust me, they're not fun anymore. The stakes are real, and the choices are heartbreaking. We're talking about real people facing impossible choices every single day. It's not just numbers on a spreadsheet, it's families, friends, and neighbors. Do you pay the electricity bill or put food on the table for your family? It's a gut-wrenching decision that no one should have to make. Do you fill up your gas tank to get to work or buy your kid new shoes for school? These are the kinds of choices that keep people up at night. These aren't hypothetical scenarios. They're the harsh realities millions are grappling with right now. The lines at food banks are getting longer and homes are getting colder. Imagine having to choose between heating your home and feeding your children. It's a cruel dilemma that no parent should ever face. It's a decision no parent should have to make, yet it's becoming increasingly common. The stress and anxiety are palpable, and for those living paycheck to paycheck, even a small price increase can feel like a financial earthquake. Every cent counts, and there's no room for error. It's a constant juggling act, trying to make ends meet while the cost of everything keeps going up, up, up. The pressure is relentless. It's enough to make you want to scream into the void, or at least into a very large bag of discounted potato chips. The frustration is real, and it's overwhelming. But in these tough times, communities are coming together, helping each other out. It's a small glimmer of hope in an otherwise bleak situation. People are sharing what they have, volunteering at shelters, and doing what they can to support one another. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, humanity shines through. Here's the thing about this cost of living crisis. It's not just hitting our wallets, it's hurting our hearts too. The financial strain is palpable, and it's affecting every aspect of our lives. When you're constantly worried about money, it's tough to enjoy the simple things in life. The joy of a spontaneous coffee date or a casual shopping trip fades away. Remember going out with friends, grabbing a coffee, catching a movie? Those moments of connection and laughter? Those little joys are becoming luxuries many can no longer afford. Socializing costs money, and when every penny counts, these experiences are often the first to go. And when you're struggling to make ends meet, staying home and alone starts to feel like the only option. The walls close in, and the world outside seems distant and unattainable. But here's the catch-22. Isolation breeds loneliness, and loneliness can be devastating for our mental health. The more isolated we become, the harder it is to break free from the cycle. It's like a vicious cycle. Stress leads to isolation leads to loneliness, and loneliness exacerbates the stress. You're stressed about money, so you isolate yourself, which makes you feel lonely and depressed, which makes it even harder to cope with the financial strain. It's a downward spiral that's hard to escape. And let's be clear, this isn't about being cheap or antisocial. It's about survival. It's about making tough choices in a world where the cost of living is skyrocketing. When your budget is stretched thin, something's gotta give. Often, it's the social activities that are sacrificed first. And often it's the social connections that suffer. The very thing that could help alleviate some of the stress is what we end up cutting out. We're social creatures by nature, and depriving ourselves of human interaction takes a toll. The lack of connection can lead to feelings of isolation and despair, making it even harder to find joy in life. Now you might be thinking, okay, I get it. This cost of living crisis is making us broke and lonely. But is it really impacting our physical health? Oh, you bet it is, my friend. Let me break it down for you. Remember those tough choices we talked about? Well, they have consequences. When people can't afford healthy food, they turn to cheaper, less nutritious options. We're talking processed foods, sugary drinks, and all the things your doctor warns you about. And guess what? Eating poorly can lead to a whole host of health problems like obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. But it's not just about the food. Living in a constant state of financial stress takes a toll on our bodies. Stress hormones surge, blood pressure rises, and our immune systems weaken. We're talking headaches, insomnia, and a greater risk of getting sick. It's like our bodies are constantly in fight or flight mode, trying to outrun a financial predator that never sleeps.